Welcome to Q&A practice. Let's start out with the plaintiff attorney. Ready? Here we go. On the Avery salvage property, this is other than just residences. Is that correct? Yes. Do you know how many other buildings there are other than residences? 3. Exhibit number 58, is that one of them? Yes. The main office area. If somebody did business with the salvage place, he would come into this room here. Yes. All right. Tell us what exhibit 59 is. Just another picture of the Plymouth Voyager van. Now, exhibit 59, where was that taken from? Do you know? From the driveway. Do you still have the laser pointer up there? Yes. Can you show us with the laser pointer where your mother's and your home would be located in relationship to this picture? It would be on this side of the picture, the left side, yes, and that is the maroon van again, the van that you saw Lynn taking pictures of, yes. Objection, asked and answered. The testimony is getting cumulative, Your Honor. Mr. Katz, Judge, although I understand I have asked the questions, there are all different angles. They will have a use later in the trial, I suspect, with this picture. That is self-explanatory. I will allow the one question to put the picture in context. That was the vehicle that Lynn was taking a picture of. Yes, all right. The next exhibit is exhibit number 60. That is another picture of the van, just a different angle. What we are showing on the screen is exhibit 60, objection, cumulative, and a waste of time under section 904.03. Are you referring to the description of the photo or the photo itself? The photo and the description of it. It's my understanding at this time we are going through these photos because they may be used later. It's a bit difficult for the court to say in advance that a photo may be a waste of time since I don't know the purpose for which it may be used, so I'm not going to rule on the objection for now. All right, exhibit 61, another picture of the van at a different angle. What is in the background of exhibit 61? My mom's house. When looking at exhibit 61, could you again point out the picture, or excuse me, the window that you looked out and watched things from? It would be that window there, the leftmost window on the trailer. Is that correct? Yes. Exhibit 62 is in front of, what is that? That would be Sam's car. What kind of car is that? Pontiac Grand Am. You mentioned that Sam had a truck as well. Yes. We saw that in a previous picture. Is that correct? Yes. This blue car, that Grand Am, is obviously a different vehicle. Did Sam drive this car? Yes. What is exhibit 63? That would be the yard's flatbed, the salvage yard flatbed. What is a flatbed? For those of us who don't know, for hauling cars, for picking up cars. Your Honor, I would like to be heard briefly at sidebar, if I may. Very well. What is the next picture of in front of you? Exhibit 64. That would be my grandma's golf cart. Your grandma's what? Golf cart. And again on the large screen, what is that? Is a representation of the photo that is in front of you. Yes. Do you know where that golf cart was normally kept? In her garage. What is exhibit 65? My mom's golf cart. Again, directing your attention to the large screen. Where was that normally kept? Mostly outside. Outside of what? Our house. The next photo is exhibit 66. Can you tell us what that is? That would be the car crusher. Where on the property was that located? Do you know? Down in the pit. What does down in the pit mean? It would actually be on the east side of the pit, the far side, the east side of the property. Yes. Bobby, did you ever operate this piece of equipment? No. Okay, I think we have this on a couple of different angles, but can you tell us about exhibit 67? Just the front view of the crusher again. Actually, I'm not even going to post these to the jury. Just tell me what it is. Just a front view of the crusher, and 68 a back view of the crusher, and exhibit 69, a picture of the whole background of the pit that you were talking about. Yes. Okay, I will show you this one. Tell us what we are looking at here. There is the far east side of the property. Can you show us with the laser pointer the crusher, please? The crusher is right here. Is there a body of water or a pond right there? Yes, that would be right around there. Now, do you know what is on the other side of that pond? Just an embankment. Are there vehicles on the other side? There is a little lower, and there is the embankment. Could you show us that with your laser pointer, what you are talking about? There is the embankment, and there is the road that runs on this side of the pond. Okay, what is Exhibit 70? Crushed cars. Had you seen any crushed cars on the property? No, you were not involved in the business at all. No. What is the next picture? Number 71, a picture of tires. And what are picture 71, the tires, or where were they located? Just north of the crusher. What is Exhibit 72? A pile of tires. Do you know where those tires were located? That is just southwest of Sam's trailer in the back corner. Exhibit 73, what is that? Just the Avery salvage sign. Where was that sign located now that the jury is seeing it on Exhibit 73? At the end of Avery's Road. What does Avery Road connect with? Highway 147. So this sign that is on Exhibit 73 would be at that intersection. Is that correct? Yes. The next exhibit is Exhibit 74. What is that? Just an overview of the salvage yard. Can you describe that any further? Directly south from Sam's trailer. I think this will be the last picture I will show. There are some others up there. All right. Exhibit 74, what are you looking at? This is maybe half of the salvage yard with cars. Those vehicles are located throughout the salvage property, yes. And in fact, what is Exhibit 75? More pictures of cars in the junk yard. And Exhibit 76, just another picture of an overview of the yard. And 77, the same thing, another picture of the overview. More junk cars, yes, more junk cars. Finally, Exhibit 78 in front of you, more junk cars. With that, Judge, I will move admission of Exhibits 37 through 78 as identified by Mr. Dassey. Mr. Strang, number 70, I think he said he has never seen those crushed cars before, so I don't think that we even got to the relevancy of number 70. I think many of the others are cumulative, but as a practical matter, some of that we can address later. I don't have any questions about their authenticity. All right, the court will at this time allow all of the exhibits in except for Exhibit 70 based upon laying a foundation. Mr. Kratz, do you have any further questions for this witness? No, not at this time, Judge. All right, members of the jury, counsel, and I have a few things to take up before we continue. So we are going to take a break at this time, early for lunch, and resume at 1 o'clock. Again, I will remind you not to discuss the case in any fashion during the break. You may be seated. We are now outside of the presence of the jury. Mr. Strang, you requested a brief sidebar during the witness's testimony. Did you wish to put that on the record? Yes, I do. We had 2 photos identified and published to the jury. These were, by my notes, numbers 22 and 63, in which obvious police crime scene evidence yellow tape is wrapped around, first, what was identified as Mr. Avery's Grand Am, and secondly, the witness identified a flatbed truck. The implication of the evidence tape, obviously, is that there is something of evidentiary value, inculpatory presumably, since the state is offering these, and it appears to be police tape. That is an unfair implication as to both the Grand Am and the flatbed truck. I cannot imagine what the probative value of these photos of these 2 vehicles is. In any event, certainly the state has photos of the Grand Am without evidence tape or other suggestions. There is something to be preserved or something incriminating or inculpatory about it. So I think those ought not come in for those reasons. That is a much longer version of what I said at the sidebar, but that was the issue I was raising at sidebar off the record, and I will note that although I am aware under State versus Miniero, Miniero, and other cases, the appellate courts of the state are not fond at all of off-the-record sidebars. I'm the one who requested this sidebar, and I knew that it would be off the record, so I will try to make clear what I think I said, and the sidebar then immediately has to be on the record, but I appreciate the court giving me a chance now to elaborate much further on the issue I raised in summary at sidebar. All right, I will say the court is aware we have been admonished by the appeals courts to avoid sidebars whenever possible, and whenever one is held to make a record of it. I try to remember to do that as best I can. Mr. Kratz, any response to the defense's concern about the two exhibits? Just briefly, Judge, those items were in fact, as soon as both of them were inspected, one of them, the blue Pontiac, was processed and the items therein tested by the Wisconsin State Crime Lab, and a DNA profile was developed from within. The fact that Stephen Avery's blood is near the console of that vehicle as well as in Ms. Hallback's vehicle, the state intends to include in evidence in this case. All right, we'll stop there. That will conclude our Q&A practice.